Hi guys, today we're going to talk about April Beth Pitzer. Hey guys, Victoria Paxton here. Thanks for stopping back by my YouTube channel. Okay, so today we're talking about April Beth Pitzer. Here we go. She was born February 19th of 1974. So prior to her disappearance in 2004, she was a model. She disappeared under unusual circumstances in Newberry Springs, California, which is a small community in the Mojave Desert. At the time of her disappearance, she had relocated from Longview, Texas to California after losing custody of her two daughters. She suffered from bipolar disorder, and she had claimed to her mother that she was working as a waitress in California during the spring of 2004. However, she had stopped taking her bipolar medication and was living in a homeless shelter and on the streets. She was last seen June 28th, 2004 by Chuck Hollister, a man in his 60s with whom Pitzer had been living with at the time. According to Hollister, he dropped her off the bus stop in Newberry Springs after helping her pack her belongings because she was going to move back to Arkansas to live with her mom, Gloria Denton. The mom later confirmed this to be true, that she was moving home. She never arrived in Arkansas, and she's not been seen or heard from since. So on September 9th, 2004, an anonymous transit employee in Barstow, California, notified police that they had been told by a woman riding their bus that she knew Pitzer and that she was in a hole. That same week, a message written inside a rest stop on Interstate 5 in Oregon was discovered. The message read, "Want to find the missing girl from Arkansas, I-15 freeway, 3 miles east of Barstow." According to Pitzer's mother, she suspected her daughter may have been targeted as a result of her past as a drug informant in Texas. Additionally, a cafe proprietor in Newberry Springs stated that she had hired Pitzer as a waitress several days before her disappearance. She claimed that on her second day of work, Pitzer arrived with what appeared to be a black eye. Law enforcement examined Hollister as a potential suspect, as he was the last person to see her. Hollister, however, denied any involvement, claiming that after he dropped Pitzer off at the bus stop, he had helped a friend move to Oregon and was out of the state. When he returned, she was gone. The message discovered in the rest stop led law enforcement to hone in on the mine shaft in San Bernardino outside Newberry Springs in their search for Pitzer. In 2005, it was discovered that Chuck Hollister's close friend, Dan Dansbury, who went by the name Dan, owned the Red Dog mine that was abandoned in 1979. We're going to get back to that mine, so just remember that. During a December 2005 search in and around the Red Dog mine, police recovered a white suitcase and scattered clothing that Denton claimed was Pitzer's, which was scattered across a 3-mile radius. Hanging in an abandoned shack approximately 12 miles from the Red Dog mine near Ludlow, police discovered a nightgown belonging to Pitzer tied in a hangman's noose. Also found in the shack were strips of gauze and a bottle of iodine. Additional clothing was discovered buried underneath the deck attached to another shack near the Indian Queen, a separate mine in the vicinity. Okay, so this is where I need to stop. I kind of talked about it on Friday Night Live. All of a sudden, everything went blank, and then I saw Orrin and Orson West at this shack that's connected to this mine. I've since been working on trying to get the information to the proper authorities. But you know, they just disappeared 9 months ago, so there's no way I would have seen them back from 2004 when she disappeared, you know what I mean? So it's weird. I've never had that happen. Okay, so multiple articles of clothing discovered were identified by Pitzer's mother as clothing that she had sent her daughter in care packages. You guys, I apologize. My neighbors, I think she has 4 dogs now. They're outside and they're going nuts because they probably see a bunny rabbit or a squirrel. So pay no attention to the puppies barking in the back. Okay. Numerous searches were undertaken at the Red Dog Mine. Inside, searchers discovered additional belongings of Pitzer's, including boots and undergarments, as well as a mattress and a sheet stained with blood and bodily fluids. Hollister died of cancer in September of 2006 and denied any involvement in Pitzer's disappearance. In November of 2009, Pitzer's mother was contacted by Hollister's friend, Dan Dansbury, Dan, while organizing a search for her daughter in California. Denton met with Dansbury, who was on his deathbed. He claimed to have known Pitzer, but denied any involvement in her disappearance. Why would he contact Pitzer's mom then? You know what I mean? I think he got cold feet and didn't want to tell her. However, after their meeting, Dansbury reportedly told a friend that the previous searches for Pitzer at the Red Dog Mine were in the right place, but he added that they hadn't gone far enough. Yeah. Samples of dirt and other debris from the mine were collected for potential forensic evidence. Pitzer was declared legally dead on August 27th of 2012. In 2016, after years of searches, Pitzer's mother stated that she was confident her daughter's remains were not in the mine, although they may have been at one time before being relocated. A local methamphetamine manufacturer in Newberry Springs A local methamphetamine manufacturer in Newberry Springs, Steve Wilkinson, was considered a suspect in Pitzer's disappearance, possibly related to her past as a drug informant. It was reported that Steve had been seen in the Red Dog Mine area on September 4th of 2015, one day prior to a planned trip to Amarillo, Texas. En route to Amarillo on September 5th, Wilkinson was killed when the Cessna 310 airplane in which he was a passenger crashed into a mountain near Silverton, Colorado. Okay. I was able to connect with Beth. I explained who I was. We talked about her family, her friends. She talks about, you know, that she was grateful that she's able to check in and see her daughters growing up and all that. She went on to talk about how her mental health issues were an ongoing struggle for her, that bipolar had just destroyed her and her life. I asked if she would talk to me about her final days. She was reluctant, like a lot of spirits are. She said it was hard to talk about. I told her she could take her time, just try to see if she could get through it. You know, I didn't want to push her. I didn't want her to have to relive it. You know, I just had some questions. So she started off talking about Chuck and how Chuck had come across as such a nice guy. And he said, you can come stay with me. I'll make sure you're okay. She said it, you know, it started off good that, you know, he was just really nice and kind and caring. And she said, but it didn't stay that way. She said on and off for quite a few days, she had stayed there. One night when she was sleeping, he had crawled into bed with her and was like touching her. And she woke up and she was like, get out of here. What are you doing? It's not like that, you know. Okay, so things were okay after that. Chuck came to her and said, hey, I have two friends that want to meet you. They can help you out financially. You know, you may have to do a little something for them. So she was leaving the following day to go back to Arkansas. She was taking a bus. So she said, okay, why not? You know, that'll give me a little bit of money. So she got in Chuck's vehicle and they went. She was getting kind of uncomfortable and not feeling great because he kept driving and driving and they were like obviously out in the middle of nowhere. So they get back. So they get to this place, okay? And he pulls up to this little shack and there's another vehicle there and these two guys walk out and she meets them and then she goes into the room. Well, she was supposed to pleasure them and they were going to give her $500. So the one guy proceeded to overtake her pretty quickly. She was fighting. He got her down on this mattress and, you know, she said that, you know, she was crying, screaming, trying to fight, but it was hard because he had overpowered overpowered her, and the other guy then helped hold her down while they had their way. For some reason, she said she knows the one guy was Dan, and she thinks the other guy's name was Mike, and that he was a friend of both Dan and Chuck's. Okay, so I said to her, you know, is there anything else that you remember? And she's like, you know, I just remember being overpowered. And then I was here. I asked her if she had come in contact with people where she is that she knew. And she said, yeah, you know, of course she has family and people there. I asked if she knew where she was buried. She said she's not sure why, but she feels like she's definitely buried, like in a mine shaft somewhere. I asked her if she remembered being put there, and she was like, no, I don't know why I know that, but she thought that she was buried in a mine. So yeah, I mean, it would make sense, right? You guys, it's just so ridiculous how many people are being murdered. It just blows my mind. Okay, be nice, be kind, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll get through this COVID Delta crap, and I hope you guys are having a great week. And that about does it for me.